Brothers, the Xiaomi Pad 8 Pro you wanted to see has finally arrived.
I bought a black version with 8 plus 128, and inside the packaging, there is a 67-watt fast charger and an A to C data cable. Since Android tablets suddenly increased to 12 or 13 inches, this year Xiaomi tablets have returned to 11 inches, so I'm quite interested in this tablet. Its size is comparable to the iPad Pro, and this year it also uses the Snapdragon 8 Gen chip.
So how does it perform? Let's test it out for everyone later. I've finished testing the gaming performance of the Xiaomi Pad 8 Pro. As expected, every year the online reviews of the Xiaomi Pad show a very serious polarization. So how is its actual gaming experience? Is it worth buying? A single video will make it clear. Let's start by respecting the positioning of this tablet. If your need is just to watch shows and study, you can completely ignore the following tests, as it handles these tasks effortlessly. It's equipped with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 and has a balanced size of 11.2 inches, which will undoubtedly attract many gaming enthusiasts.
Let's start the game test with Peace Elite, enabling the 2K plus 144 frame option, and directly observe the frame rate performance in the main city with over 20 people in a gunfight. Let's get straight to the conclusion. With many people, it definitely can't maintain 144 frames. It will fluctuate to around 90 frames. The fluctuation range is about 50 frames, from 90 to 144 frames. Only when the number of people drops to single digits will it be relatively stable. However, compared to other tablets using the Snapdragon 8 Gen chip, its performance in Peace Elite is far below average. In terms of touch control, especially with 144 frames compared to other large Android tablets, its performance is definitely in the top tier. If compared to the iPad Pro, there is still a certain gap in stability when aiming. Considering the instability at 144 frames, I switched back to 120 frames to retest it. Sure enough, after switching back to 120 frames, it ran more stably compared to 144 frames, with the lowest frame rate stabilizing around 110, and the fluctuation range to 120 frames further reduced to about 10 frames. I casually recorded a session with an average frame rate of 135.7 and average power consumption of less than 10 watts. Later, when checking the scheduling strategy, I found out that Xiaomi mostly used only one super large core to run. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 has a total of 2 super cores, and it mostly uses only one core with a low frequency, which is like having one less person to tighten screws, so it's inevitable that the speed can't keep up. This situation is generally because the new tablet hasn't been optimized in conjunction with the game, which can usually be resolved with a later OTA update. After testing Peace Elite for 1 hour, the battery dropped by 20%, and with the core frequency not maxed out and set relatively low, the temperature naturally wasn't very high, around 40 degrees. So how does it perform with other games? I also ran Delta Force for everyone. Let's first look at the scheduling strategy, and found that everything was normal for Delta. In the full battlefield in high definition with 120 frames, I casually recorded a session with an average frame rate of 117.8 and an average power consumption of 8.44 watts. Game respawns can lower the average frame rate. Theoretically, its performance should be higher. However, occasionally Xiaomi's frame rate would suddenly drop to around 90 frames, but I feel it doesn't have much impact because most of the time it can remain stable at around 120 frames. Next, we tested Genshin Impact, and Xiaomi's performance was also very good. With all high quality graphics effects maxed out, it ran for half an hour with an average frame rate of 59.8 and an average power consumption of 7.71 watts, surprisingly similar to a phone. Moreover, the entire process was very stable, with no frame drops. Finally, there's no need to say much about Mr. Wang's results, with an average frame rate of 119.8, nearly full frame, and an average power consumption of about 7.5 watts. After all the game tests, at an ambient temperature of 25 degrees, the temperature of the Xiaomi tablet can stabilize around 40 degrees. To summarize, the Xiaomi Pad 8 Pro does have some shortcomings in optimization specifically for Peace Elite, but everything is normal for other games, so it depends on your needs. I don't know if there will be optimizations later. At this stage, I definitely don't recommend it for playing Peace Elite. However, if you only play other games or use it for work, the Xiaomi Pad 8 Pro is the one I most recommend among all Xiaomi tablets.